today I would like to explain about orientation meeting in my video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe my video, and if you like, please pay so much attention of what I am saying. So let's go to the explanation. Orientation meeting is to welcome and give information about the tour, and normally will be held once for the tour that takes two or more days. Basically, the tourists will be arranged to the hotel room before the dinner time, and then after the dinner time, the meeting will be held. The meeting will be contained with further information about the tour, basic, and also about the introduction of the certain country. It also contains with some tradition and culture explanation, just in case there are so many different culture and tradition each different country. Or we can say for anticipation, for just an anticipation for the worst thing that could happen if the tourists didn't know about the rules and the tradition. So it will be more wise if we explain it on the meeting. We know that there are so many sacred places in Indonesia. That's why we need to explain it more, because we don't want to get in trouble. Also an explanation about the schedule of the tour, when the tour will get started, and what time the tourists should gather before they get back to the hotel. There's also the purpose of this orientation meeting, and I think the orientation meeting purposes is to make the tour guide more easier to manage the tourism, the tourists, and for the tourists is to make them more easier to understand about the country that they go to. Here I would like to read the example of the orientation meeting, and I hope you enjoyed it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Muhammad Idil Fitra, but you can call me Idil. I'm the guide of your today's tour in Parepare. Let me tell you about Parepare, a small city in South Sulawesi that also known as Bandar Madani. It is also the birthplace of the third president of Indonesia, Bahrudin bin Yusuf. Muhammad Idil Fitra, but you can call me Idil. I'm the guide of your today's tour in Parepare. Let me tell you about Parepare, a small city in South Sulawesi that also known as Bandar Madani. It is also the birthplace of the third president of Indonesia, Bahrudin bin Yusuf Habibie. Parepare is located about 155 kilometers from provincial capital of Makassar. Port Town is one of the major population centers of the Bugis people. The city has a population of 129,542 people, according to the data 2010. Parepare is divided into 4 districts. They are Batu Kiki, Batu Kiki Barat, Ujung, and Soreang. Quite small, isn't it? But it doesn't mean it has no tourism destination. Our tour will be start from the hotel at 9 a.m. and our first destination is Makam Datuk Lachincing. It is very honorable and sacred place that dedicated to Datuk Lachincing himself. As the former leader of the 3 regions, there are Arung Matoa in Wajo Kingdom. He was king in Sidenreng and also in Batu Kiki. According to the inscription, Datuk Lachincing was buried in year 1885. And also remember, just in case this is a sacred place, so be careful and you might behave yourself. Our destination next will be a culinary tour. I will take you to the finest culinary place in Parepare. It is Resa Cafe. There, they will serve you a palako as an icon of South Sulawesi culinary. After having lunch in Resa, the next destination is the monument of Habibie Ainun. This monument is dedicated to the former president of Indonesia, Habibie, and his wife, Ainun. This monument is the improvement of true love for human being. Okay, I think that is all explanation for the tour. Thank you all for joining this meeting. I appreciate you and have a nice sleep. Good night and see you tomorrow. Okay, I think that's all of the explanation that I just give you about the orientation meeting. So I hope you like my explanation and deeply I hope you understand about my explanation. Thank you very much guys. So be safe and don't forget to wear your mask.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Anissa. Okay, today I will explain about the briefing. What is briefing? Briefing, a tour briefing is usually for travel agents and other industry personnel and is intended to acquaint them with a new destination or new procedures. Briefing is almost the same as an orientation meeting, but it is much briefer and is held more often before leaving for a destination in a tour bus or some near the bus in the parking area. This is also often given before entering a place of interest to deliver the entrance ticket, to remind the local regulations, to tell the length of the visit. Next, objective. Number 1, learners are able to prefer an orientation meeting or briefing. Number 2, learners are able to give a warm welcome and educate in information about the tour to the visitor in the meeting. Number 3, learners are able to conduct orientation meeting and briefing adequately. Next, study the following information about orientation meeting and briefing. In the orientation meeting and briefing, there are 3 main parts to be considered by a tour guide. The contents of each part are as follows. A. Opening. Number 1, welcoming remarks. Number 2, welcoming performance if available. Number 3, greetings in the customer language then local language, giving travel kits if available. Short information about the event, the area, city or town to be visited. Number 4, introduction yourself on behalf of the company. Number 5, introduction the driver, CO driver, especially for briefing. B, main information about the tour. Number 1, short information about the destinations. Number 2, places of interest or attractions to be visited day by day. Number 3, route of the tour. Number 4, time to get to the place of interest or attractions. Number 5, estimating time of the tour on the way at the place, lunch, shopping, and next, what they can see on the way on the spot. Number 7, where they will stay, shop, and eat. Number 8, health and safety. Disease being spread, bird flu, and the preventions. Number 9, tour regulation going to time. Number 10, local regulations, no footwear, taking picture, and next, optional tour if applicable, offer and decided. C, closing. Number 1, last greeting. Number 2, wish the guests to have a nice stay. It's for orientation meeting. Number 3, ask the guys they get into the bus. Reminders tips. It is for briefing out of the bus. Next, study the following common expression for orientation meeting and briefing. Example, welcome to Bandung. Welcome to our first day tour. How was your trip to Bandung? I hope it was a nice trip. How was your sleep last night? Did you sleep well last night? I hope you could sleep well. On behalf of Alia again, I would like to thank you. My name is Nur Anissa and you can call me Anissa. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm your guide of today. Allow me to introduce myself. I am native from Chubut, Sulawesi, and in Bandung I live in Jalan Gabus number 2. Okay, let's get into the bus. Mind your steps. Watch your head. Be careful, it is a bit wet and slippery. Our programmers for today is to visit Tangkuban Perahu. Our driver is Mrs. Widianto, a very experienced driver. He is the best driver for our company. His expertise guarantees the safety of our trip. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mrs. Widianto, our CO driver, who keeps the cleanliness of our bus is Mr. Esep. Please help him to keep the cleanliness of the bus. Please do not litter but put the rubbish into the trashes available. Thank you. Okay, that's my explanation. Sorry if there is an error from me. My other group of friends is not active at the moment, so we are just the two of us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.